Frank, 35 years in the industry. Is it 35 or 36 now?
Just on the verge of 36. April 25th is going to be official. 36 years in the industry.
Congratulations.
Thank
so,
you.
Talk to me about what inspired you to get into this field.
Actually entered this field accidentally, believe it or not. I graduated with University of Windsor business degree honors, and I did a lot of accounting, marketing, management, finance, all that fun stuff in the business school. And there's an opportunity here in Windsor where a computer store was just opening up, and they were looking for a sales rep. So somebody referred me and submitted my resume, and I became their first inside retail sales rep back in '88, selling many families their very first home computer. That's what inspired me to continue here and grow and help grow the industry really over the 36 years.
I love stories like that. I love how just you think you have one path and all of a sudden it just something else springs in front of you.
Absolutely.
So tell me a bit about like AlphaKOR, its mission in the technology field, and what the company does.
Sure. So AlphaKOR, we've been around 29 years. I've got a team of over 50 people. What we do is we manage service providers. So we take care of the entire IT technologies for companies. We work with small, medium, large enterprise, regardless of where they're located, whether they have IT teams or not. We collaborate with the IT department. Cybersecurity has been an extremely hot topic in our world, keeping companies running safe, storing their data safe, helping with all the infrastructure. So whether they're working in the office, working at home, on the road, hybrid, in the cloud, solutions for everything, keeping them all safe and sound. Two other areas of the company, we do website development and full digital marketing. So we help corporations tell their story digitally. And we also have some custom software applications that we've created to help businesses run a little bit more efficiently and automating all kinds of processes that, as you know, there's many processes in every organization.
So that's incredible. Wide range of services you guys offer. So what really sets you apart from your competitors?
They're truly 24/7. We started that from day one out of the gate with AlphaKOR back in 1995. And we have found that we've built really good, strong relationships. We have a huge community footprint in Southwestern Ontario. We've been referred. We've got clients that go back to even before AlphaKOR was born that have followed some of us here to the AlphaKOR journey. So that's really helped us a lot. The accolades in the marketing is always good. You know, you want to be somebody that's reputable, going to be around in business, and having been through a lot of the challenges that we've had over the years. So we've had a number of things that have definitely affected a lot of businesses out there. AlphaKOR, very fortunately, we are able to help others, and that was really the key during, the Y2K, during 9/11, when people really worried, what's going to happen with my business if disaster strikes? The recessions that we've been through, and then, we don't need to talk about COVID, but COVID, we definitely were able to send everyone home here, a skeleton crew, and we all worked from home and helped companies how to do business, safe, remotely, hybrid. And only 6 of us were in the office at that time. So we were there really to lead the conversation and help. So we've been known for our reputation to really always help everyone in need.
So that was a good segue, because I was going to start asking you about, how you build and develop long-term relationships with companies and organizations. So can you talk more about that and your approach?
So relationships, I have found when we're meeting at the board table, let's talk about whether it's virtual or in person, asking questions. My style, I answer a lot of questions by asking questions. We are unable to really know, understand, and help you unless we really understand you. So, to walk in with a preconceived notion of what we're going to recommend or what we're going to do is really difficult for a lot of people. But I find our winning formula is, let's have an open, candid discussion. Let's find out really, why are we at the table? What's our role? What can we do to truly help? And we can also help make recommendations, not directly related to our corporation, to really help business decision makers run a better business, find some good resources, and collaborate with others out there to ensure that we're all working together for the better good for our prospects and clientele.
So you're known as a connector, bringing professionals together to create opportunities. Can you tell us more about your philosophy behind networking and its importance in the tech community?
Many years ago in my career, I started volunteering around 97. So let's say 10 years into my career, and I found that There's a lot of people that are volunteering, helping people out. So I was attending networking events, and I found networking events are good. People tend to stick together with those they know. I enjoyed going solo. People that tag along with me, I would kind of try to introduce them to someone and go off and meet new people. The whole goal was really to meet individuals and to really get to know them. So my early days, a successful networking event for me was collecting the most business cards I possibly could, meeting the most people, where it shifted shortly after that to let me meet a couple quality people and stay in touch. The digital world with tools like LinkedIn, anyone's business card, anyone that I meet, I proactively connect with them with LinkedIn, follow up with a message. Hey, Pat, it was such a pleasure meeting you at the event last night. We offered a coffee chat at my office. Would you like to come down and have a tour of our location and get to know you a little bit more? So building those type of one-on-one touches, I found, has gone a really long way over the years.
That's a really good skill to develop and learn. Like, it is awkward for many people when they go to these events. So to have that, confidence, that skill to go in there and just try to meet as many people as possible, that is a really powerful skill to have.
Yeah, it's not easy. And I did read a book years ago where they talked about what's called a triad relationship. So let's just say we have John, Pat, and Frank, the three of us. So I know both of you. I will introduce Pat and John and say, hey, why don't you guys share your story? And then I would move on and go meet some other people. So that's how I was able to break the ice, introduce people. The networking groups that I've created two of them over my career, were really catered to a lot of young first-time networkers. And every month that I throw this event, I get new people attending, new people that have never networked. So we've created a very informal, non-threatening, very inviting place to meet people and get over that, because it is very difficult when we see 2-3 people engage in conversation. How do I approach? How do I be part of that group, and how do I get to talk to them?
Let's change direction of the conversation a little bit. Let's talk about kind of the landscape that's out there today. So in your opinion, what are some of the most significant challenges and opportunities facing the technology industry today?
Moves rapidly, right? So I've joked since day one, our industry moves super fast, and it some people say it changes quarterly, changes yearly. In my humble opinion, it changes hourly, and that's not too far of a stretch. In the early days when we're buying hardware products, we had discrepancies in pricing going from sky high to low in the exact same day. Things changed drastically. New product came out. Technology's coming out at a rapid pace. Everything's getting faster, smaller. Prices have varied. They traditionally had gone down. Now they tend to creep up again. Product hard to get. So product has been very difficult to get since 2020. Things just supply chain just kind of got quiet in all sectors, including IT. Getting a little bit better, and you have to find the right sources for it. The AI is a very hot topic today. When the cloud came out, it was a hot topic. It's funny. We talked about websites, domain names. We talked about the cloud. And then we talked about AI well before these were household words, right? So again, it's taken technology, has been out for a very long time. It's repackaged, it's marketed in a great way. And now, it's just like the print industry faced in the 70s, right? We're going to eliminate photocopiers and print shops, right? For example, because everything I can do myself. You have to look at that and see all these threats, all these opportunities exist. So you just have to figure out how to help walk through that conversation. And we always start with education. That's the biggest piece.
That's another good segue. So I want to talk about how do you stay ahead of the curve with all these emerging technologies? We see, even with COVID that passed, there was, I would say, I'm not sure if hesitation is the right word, but from a digitization perspective, it was that was a tomorrow thing, and people were kind of chipping away. And then all of a sudden it was in your face. You had to be digital in order to survive. So, talk to me about how you help these companies evolve, navigate that. You mentioned education. What other types of things do you do to help them?
So let's first talk about the education. So March 17th, 20, when things got super shut down, March 18th, I personally started interactive webinars with Frank Abbruzzese. Here I am, one guy in business professional. How can we help each other? How can we figure this out? Had nothing to do with AlphaKOR, had nothing to do with IT per se, right? So it was, how do we genuinely care and help? And then the demand started. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I had an hour with me just inviting people in social media on, let's figure out the day's biggest challenge. What are we going to do? How do we handle sanitization? How do we handle hybrid, right? What do we do about remote? Where do we store our data? So all these questions came up. How are we going to handle this? How do we keep our business going? How do we put food on the table? So that's how we did it, one, with education. Two is when I mentioned about asking questions, listen to your audience, ask questions. What do they need? What are they seeking? What are they finding out? In the early days, all the technicians used to always come to the sales team and say, you got to learn about this product. You got to learn about this product. So our internet was our qualified technical team, which is still in place today and which still does a great job. But the internet today, we can educate ourselves. There's courses to take. There's training to take. There's all kinds of podcasts, and you need to stay on top of it. And that, to me, never stops, and we need to stay ahead of the curve. Once we fall behind, you can catch up, but it's a big challenge. Imagine going to see someone today in my position, and they say, hey, Frank, talk about some AI solution your company offered. And I say, I don't really know any right now. That's probably not going to be a good answer. Right? We need to lead the conversation. And one thing, Pat, that I want to share with your audience, we have been seen as the experts on the subject matter in the IT sector and in the cybersecurity sector. When CRA was breached, the local news contacted me. The hospitals were breached, 5 of them here in Ontario. The hospitals called me to comment on it. I'm an outsider with both those large organizations. We have absolutely nothing to do with them, but the media is seeking answers, asking questions. And at that level, when they reach out and say, who's the expert on the subject matter? Who can we lean on? Well, we need to be well-versed and know what's happening at a high level, and also to bring it to the audience. So what can they walk away? What can we learn from? How can we help each other from these tragedies that have struck? So that's been our role in here, is how can we truly help?
Talk to me a little bit about some success stories that you guys had. What stood out to you? Like, I would imagine some of them probably came out over the last 5 years with COVID and things like that. But is there anything else that comes to mind?
We always look at companies that are going through acquisitions. Those are big, long processes. In our field, we're blessed that we have keys. We're privy to a lot of information well ahead of time, just like other professionals in the community that get information that the public doesn't know. So there's a huge acquisition. We had one with a number of corporate offices spread over Ontario, Quebec, that we sent a team out, and we rolled out 1,500 brand new workstations at 50 some offices over a time span. So to me, it's really excited to watch a bigger corporation become even larger and rely on us to continue to grow with us. So that's always very, very exciting.
So someone that is deeply involved in the tech scene, what advice would you give aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals looking to make their mark in the industry?
It's to build your connections. So I get asked this a lot. I also mentored at our local university, our local college. WeTech is an IT group that we formed here that is helping facilitate the IT community. So we always talk about, how do we build the connection without selling first? So when I meet someone and they decide to spit out their entire sales pitch to me, it's really tough to sit there and listen to that. One, I like you, I care about you, I really want to know and understand, but it's too early in the game. And I find that, there's a bit of aggressiveness there that maybe I personally don't have, but I would like to get to know you first, learn and understand. Because if you're telling me I can coach you how to be an entrepreneur and I've got a secret winning formula that's going to help you, I'm going to challenge you by saying, what can you do for me as a 29 veteran leading a really cool IT company? Sure, I might have some weaknesses you can help me with, but you can't give me your sales pitch and say, you better sign up my program for a year. I'm going to help you run a better business. That's really hard. So my engagement is build that relationship, build the trust, because you know what? I might really like a couple of things you say and say, you know what, let's focus on these 2 nuggets that you talked about. Now that I got to know you and understand you, and now I see the value, how I could really help my business. And I'd be your longest long-term clientele if you build that relationship and trust. The other piece is empathy. Empathy is one of those areas that seems to be a bit lacking. When we care about people and we generally show that we care, really important. And I find that sometimes we're too matter-of-fact, too transactional. Yeah, we have to have those tough conversations and take the emotions out of it. I get that part. But emphasize, we're all human beings dealing with human beings. And somewhere in this digital world, we've kind of lost the human touch. So I would remind everyone out there, build a relationship, care about people, get to know them first, and then move into the business transaction and provide your story on how you can help, as opposed to starting out of the gate with a sales pitch. I guess that in a summary, that's what I would like to help people overcome that, because I see that a lot actually.
So can you, we talked about earlier the networking events that maybe people may be uncomfortable. Is there any sort of other tips you give someone that is maybe struggles? They maybe feel very comfortable digitally and virtually, but when how would someone go about doing that if they're like very awkward out of the gate?
That's a great one, because everyone that's known me prior to my post-graduation from university, I was the quietest, shyest person you ever would have met. And all day long I hear, oh, it's easy and natural for you, which is totally untrue. I get butterflies and nervous before I have to present to an audience. I have anxiety when I go to a networking event. I think for me, that's just a normal thing. I just go up to the person and walk up and say, hi, my name is Frank, and you are, can you tell me what you do? So that you can start with some very simple questions, and have the other person go first and really listen to them, right? Put our phone away. Eye contact's really important. You don't have to shake hands. There's a lot of us that don't shake hands, and that's okay. I'm Italian. I'm a hugger and kiss on both cheeks, but I'm in Canada. I can't always do that, right? So again, you respect the other person, but look in the eye. That's really critical, and really listen to them and ask questions. So, Pat, I understand you have a podcast. Can you please tell me more about your podcast? I'd like to learn more about it. What kind of guests do you have on your podcast? So we can ask some very simple question, and hopefully by me saying those two questions out loud, it made you actually all of a sudden, your body relaxes, you feel good and go, wow, this guy actually seems to really care about me. Let's see if he really does, right? Because we have to earn the trust and genuinely cares. So when you reached out to me and sent the message, right, you weren't selling me anything. So that's a message I'm going to take time to read. What's he saying? What's he asking for? And, well, wait a minute, I kind of like this. So again, right, so we connected virtually, which is not easy to do. But for some people, virtually is easier than in person. But I would take what we're doing virtually and apply it in person as well, which I don't know if anyone can do that, but that's something that I would say those that struggle in person, that you just have to be vulnerable and put yourself out there.
It's like you said, it's you have to work at it. It's like a muscle. You just got to keep exercising it until you break that resistance to get you more comfortable with it.
My level, right? I've just admitted out loud I've been vulnerable. I'm not saying it's all easy and natural all the time. The key is, with experience, you have confidence and do make it look easy. Yes, of course. I've been told my life is so easy. So, but it only took 10,000 hours to get anywhere close to it becoming okay, right? So again, like all the experts that we see in their respective professions, it does take a long, long time to get there. So don't give up. A lot of candidates that I talk to that are looking for careers, right? We're dealing with a younger audience. They want to go out and meet people, and they're bringing resumes and they're handing you resumes. So I've actually gone out of my way to help them and say, get to know the people first, ask what they're doing, what their role in the company, who would be the one that looks at their resume, right? Just because I'm president of AlphaKOR, I receive a ton of resumes, but I can't vet them. I'm not going through them. And I would forward them to my HR, and that's going to be their job, their responsibility. So again, who's the right person in the company that you should reach out to? So ask me as the president, who should I send my resume into to be a technician at AlphaKOR? That'd be a great question to ask me, as opposed to, here's my resume, can you hire me? So again, I get a lot of that. That's why I'm sharing with the audience to help. That's really tough, right? I'm one of those guys who will respond, but I'll tell you, 90% of the people that receive that would just hit delete.
Yeah. I think you said something really powerful there when you talk about, it's about keeping that conversation going, getting in front of the right person, because like you said, some people may take the time to kind of read, they may not respond, but if you ask the right question, if you get good at asking the right question, you go a lot further, because it's like you said, that may not be your responsibility, but you may be able to connect someone or direct them to where they can go.
Yeah. Yes. And the other thing with that is they don't always ask, but ask for permission. Can I use your name? And I always say, yes, you can. If I'm going to refer someone, I'm not going to hide. Yep. I've asked you to reach out, Pat, to be a guest on his pod. Yeah, absolutely. Use my name. Hey, Pat, I was talking to Frank. He mentioned you have a podcast. Would you consider me being a guest? Here's what I can bring to the table. I enjoy your podcast that I've seen. So you see how that works, as opposed to, hey, Pat, can I be a guest? Like, again, we need a story. We need to share something. We need to build that bond, that trust, right? Because I
Yeah.
don't know who you are, so let's get to know each other first. But yeah, you can ask, can I use your name? And most people will say yes, right, out of respect. Sure.
So let's talk a little bit more about Frank, the person, and what you like to do outside on the professional endeavors. Like, how do you unwind? How do you spend your free time?
And well, when you're owners, you have all the free time in the world, right? Because you work all the hours. So,
Yeah.
on a serious note, I love getting up early. I've been an early bird. It comes back to the roots, literally from the farm days. We had to be out in the field ready to go by sunrise. And those summer months that we had off, we still had a part-time job. But how I unwind today is I'm up 4:45. I'm at the gym at 5:30. I love that. I would not trade that for anything. I'm there 5 mornings a week. And during the fall season and early spring, I play hockey twice a week. That keeps me mentally and physically active and focused. Really tough coming in the office after 8 a.m., when I used to be in so early all along. So I try to get some work done before when I get back around 6:30. Love to read. I highly recommend, if you're not a reader, start reading. You've got your digital readers. You can buy books. I still love buying books. You can get audiobooks. Read whatever you like, and then depending on your profession, what you want to do, find something along your industry, along your professionalism. I've read a lot of business books. I've read a lot of coaching books, a lot of sales books, autobiographies I've loved, and just enjoy spending time with the family, right? Turn it off, and I really enjoy it. I'm blessed. Married 30 years to the lovely Carmela. I got 2 daughters that are just terrific. Haley and Sid, they're in their 20s, and one's working for me and one's a nurse. So again, spend time with your loved ones and your friends. That's so important, and make it quality time with them.
Yeah. You've mentioned hockey, going to the gym. Is there any sort of a hobby or interest that kind of you're passionate about?
Those, I would say, not really. Between reading, you watch a little TV. I want to get my 6-7 hours of sleep. There's been something relatively new. For many years, there was only, maybe one a year. Now we're trying to get away a little bit more. So I would say the extra hobby would be now traveling excites me. See a little bit more of Europe, which I really haven't seen a lot of. Just head out and expand the horizons. We go to my one daughter. We're trying to hit all the 30-some ball diamonds. So we've got 9 under our belt so far. And my other daughter, I found out she loves hiking a couple years ago. So we're planning another hiking trip this year. So again, it's try to do things that are meaningful and doing something quality time with people that you really care about. I love doing that and planning that.
Yeah, people always say it's more about the experience than the actual sort of the event. It's the experiences that, those memories will always stay with you. So, you mentioned reading, podcasts and, even some movies or TV. Like, so any recommendations that you have for the audience?
In the IT industry, since, we're always IBM and IBM compatible, Apple was kind of like, that other company that existed. But I really enjoyed reading Steve Jobs' book a lot. And I really, really enjoyed it. The one where he's sitting in the front as the thinker. Things that really helped me do some really cool things were Evil Plans and Tribal Leadership. Reading those 2 books, I really did learn a lot. Tons of TED Talks out there, podcasts, right? So whatever you're looking for. But on the autobiography, I've read, Elon Musk, and I've read a whole bunch of different ones, Bobby Orr's. So I've read sports figures, entertainment figures, and people that are entrepreneurs. So I've really, really enjoyed that.
I just picked up the Elon Musk one. I'm looking forward to reading that. He's a very interesting person.
Yes. Yeah, it's very interesting reading from their perspective. In the Jobs book, there were some really, really interesting things because they talk about, this industry was around 1984, right? So, and I've been here since 88 in this industry. So it's really, really cool to really see and understand some of the really early days, and then Apple coming from the walks around the orchard of apples, right? So, I mean, it's just interesting coming on a farm. It kind of was interesting how that's cool to read again. And I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you do read the book and you don't know, there was a third partner, right? We know Jobs Wozniak originally. So I love the story about the third partner. So if you haven't heard that, you can Google it or get the book and read it. Highly recommend it. What a powerful book. I really enjoyed it a lot.
Definitely will pick that one up. Well, Thanks, Frank, for joining today. For people that want to get in contact with you, what's the best way to get in contact with you?
I love LinkedIn. Frank Abbruzzese would be as simple as it gets. If you look into LinkedIn and type in the name, spelling counts. I'm on Twitter at Frank Abbruzzese. I'm on Instagram, Frank Abbruzzese as well, and of course in Facebook. So those are the social media that I use. My email is frank@alphakor.com, ALPHAKR.com. And look forward from hearing from anybody and getting to know you a little bit better.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much for joining today. Take care.
Take care. My pleasure.